An American classic, chicken parm. Well, an Italian-American classic, straight from the oven. Who doesn't want that for dinner tonight? So the first thing that I want to do is set up my flour breadcrumb egg station. So I have a few cups of flour. I'm going to season it with cayenne pepper, oregano, basil, salt. And whisk it together while you're shaking it back and forth to evenly distribute. Set that over there. Egg. Breadcrumbs. Parmesan cheese. I'm gonna put about half of this in there. I'm putting basil, oregano, chili in everything except the egg. It's really gonna taste yummy. And yes, this gets salt too. I don't want my ingredients to go flying everywhere, so I'm gonna use my hands here. So, that is all done. All we really have to do to get ready is pound out our chicken breasts. A little bit of vegetable oil, and I mean a little bit. We just want this to coat so that these breasts slide around easier, in essence, slide across the plastic while I'm pounding them. Some cooks go absolutely nuts at this point and try to get this giant paper-thin sheet of chicken. I find that it gets tough and drier that way, and you can't fry it in the batter for very long. And so, with apologies to all the great paper-thin, schnitzel makers of the world, I just find it easier to go about 1/4 inch thick. Let the plastic help you. Then I just line these up in the order they go into the fryer. Flour, egg, breadcrumb. If you pound them out thinner than 1/4 inch, I find they just tend to fall apart, and it just detracts from the whole point of the dish. By the way, a word about sauce. I took the sauce that was in my cup measure. This is our homemade tomato sauce, and I just heated up enough so that I can ladle hot sauce onto my chicken parm. I have these 2 parms ready to get spackled. My buddy Will taught me is that when he makes this dish, he puts bechamel as a layer in his chicken parm. So I started to play around with that. And when I have bechamel, I use it. But one day, I didn't have any. I already had all my ingredients laid out and dinner was coming. But I had ricotta cheese in a nice little 8-ounce tub in the back of the refrigerator, and I used that. And you know what? I liked it even more. Let's get some parm in there. Now remember, this is another opportunity to season. Pepper and salt. Am I covering this in sauce? Yes, but I'm going around the perimeter first and then building towards the interior. I want to use enough sauce to cover, but I'm not like bathing this in tomato soup, right? If you have large balls of fresh mozzarella, by all means go ahead and use those. You can really get great coverage and it melts and, you know, it does all the mozzarella stuff that you wanted to. And now all I want to do is slide these underneath the broiler. Depending on how high you are from your heating element, right? I mean, I've got hot chicken, hot sauce, mozzarella. I'm just gonna put them about 3-4 inches away and have my broiler on high. Now, you'll notice that I don't like smother in mozzarella cheese because I have that ricotta underneath it, and I'm putting I guess now technically a third layer of parm because some's in the breadcrumbs too. So this is so cheesy and so beautifully, divinely dairy-ish. At the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding, right? How does it taste? Look at that. Crispy chicken, thin layer of ricotta, homemade tomato sauce, mozzarella, 3 ways grated parm is worked in here. That saltiness from the parm is just fantastic. Greatest compliment I can give this. I'm cooking this in my adopted home state of Minnesota, where I've lived for 27 years. This reminds me of being home in New York City. Oh, forget about it.